Hello and welcome to the Diction Police. I'm your host, Ellen Rissinger, an American vocal coach accompanist on the music staff of the Semperoper in Dresden, Germany. As you can hear, I'm finally healthy again, and it's such a relief to have my voice back. As a vocal coach, I use my voice a lot, whether to practice an upcoming opera, to demonstrate what I'm explaining in a coaching, or to sing parts in a rehearsal. So it always feels like I've lost my personality when I lose my voice. In today's episode, baritone Christoph Pohl works through the text to An die Musik with us, talking about the open flying U or the cookie U, spitting consonants, and getting consonants to become part of the legato. We talk a little about the assimilation of T and D in this episode. If you want to read more about that, check out our German diction lesson from January of this year under Freebies blog at the website to hear Christoph sing Wolfram's aria O du mein holder Abendstern, to see what he does in performance. For more information about today's contributor, Christoph Pohl, or for the accompanying PDF of this text, which includes an IPA transcription along with the poetic and word-for-word translations, please visit dictionpolice.com. You can also follow the Diction Police on Facebook or Twitter at Diction Police. Franz Schubert composed this hymn to music in March of 1817 to a text by Franz von Schubert. Most musicians connect to the simplicity of the melody and harmonies, as well as to the earnest purity of the text. How many of us have been transported by music time and again, or comforted by music in difficult times? And for how many of us was that the main reason that we became musicians? This poem says it best. You lovely art, I thank you for that.
Du holde Kunst, in wie viel grauen Stunden, wo mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt, hast du mein Herz zu warmer Lieb entzunden, hast mich in eine bessere Welt entrückt. Oft hat ein Seufzer deiner Harf entflossen, ein süßer, heiliger Akkord von dir, den Himmel besserer Zeiten mir erschlossen, du holde Kunst, ich danke dir dafür.
One thing that I find in diction books is they tell us that the open U in German is much more round than in American. And if I would say a word like this, I would say Kunst, like could.
Yeah.
How does this sound in German?
Kunst. Unst. Yeah. It's not could. Unst. It's a little bit more close.
Yeah, just a little rounder. It's a little rounder.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Close round, like Kunst. Yeah. But it's not Kunst, of course not, but it's Kunst.
For me, the one thing I always think about is when we're singing, we're already in that space. We already want to do that.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying could when I sing, would that translate to Kunst in German?
Yeah, that's kind of great help because you start with a closed U on du holde Kunst. And you gotta mix it up like U-O and you have the perfect place for Kunst.
Yeah, because we have that U, the closed U, and then the open O. Exactly, we find the place right in the middle.
It's kind of a mixture of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the line we get the same vowel.
Stunden, yeah. Kunststunden. It's the same. Yeah.
This word here.
Wie viel?
If you look it up in a dictionary, it actually says wie viel, and the stress syllable is the second one, right?
Yeah. Wie viel Bücher hast du?
But he sets it this way, and so we've actually stressed this on the first syllable because he actually says in wie viel.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It kind of depends on what you want to say with that. It's like it's not that he counts the hours for. It's like wie viel Stunden. It's like how many. So it's like if you say this how many hours.
Yeah. So it's not really a question here. It's a statement of excitement about it.
So in sense of the poem, I would stress the V, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
In wie viel grauen Stunden.
In the second line, we get every version of the E we can get back to back in two words.
Des Lebens. Yeah, right.
And what I love about it is the schwa, the last syllable of that, the Lebens, is very, very close to the des, right?
Des Lebens, yeah.
So that the schwa in German ends up being more along the lines of the open e. And when we have the er at the end of words, then we have
wilder.
We don't want to say wilder. We don't want to say the R.
No.
We want to head it towards almost an A vowel, like an unstressed A.
Ja, wilder, Kreis umstrickt, ja.
Yeah. And as usual in German, we have words with 2 vowels and a million consonants.
Like umstrickt.
So we need to really cheat the first syllable to get the umstr out of the way, right?
Mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt. Yeah, you gotta take your time for that. You gotta always a little earlier before you go on the E, on the beat actually. You shorten up a little to umstrickt to make this right. Yeah.
Basically, in the way that we always say you want to control, as a singer, you want to control your pianist, is to get the vowel on the beat.
Yeah, and it's a perfect example for singing through consonants. It's not that they are in the way, so you gotta really, sing through it. Umstrickt, make it part of the sound, and not like don't cut the sound out or whatever. So, and it makes it easier actually to sing legato, and in the legato you will kind of enjoy to have every consonant there. So,
yeah. One thing that most Germans do naturally, as do most English speakers do it in our own language too, is we don't have to say hast du here, right?
Yeah.
We can just connect those two.
I kind of decided what I do. I do both actually, but you can connect them in a way of hast du mein Herz zu warmer Liebentzünden. And it depends on the poem, what you want to say, what you want to express. In this case, the du is the most important word, and the hast is not so important.
Well,
so I would go for hast du mein Herz.
Yeah, it's also clear. It's clear without the T. We understand hast du is something we'll understand without hearing hast du.
Yeah, and it doesn't fit to the line either. It's like hast du sounds a little bit too artificial.
Yeah. At the end of that line, we have a word with a prefix ent that's followed then by the z, which is also a phonetic ts.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to separate that t? Do we need to say entzunden?
Entzunden. It's always, I have to say, it's always what you want to express. I mean, in the natural way to say it, it's like entzunden. That's very natural.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to make it kind of special, then you can go for entzunden.
So both are possible.
Both are possible, yeah.
When we have it with other consonants, though, obviously, then we need this T.
Yeah, entrückt. Yeah, there you totally need it. Otherwise, it sounds a little bit like entrückt. That's the danger. So you gotta go for entrückt.
Yeah, and it needs to sound like a T. That's one of the things that in German, this T is not dental, right? It's aspirate.
Yes, and this is the danger of if you're binding those things that the T is going to be a little too soft. So especially for work like entrückt and entzunden, it's gotta make sure that this is really burn.
That it really gets spit out.
Yeah.
The first word of the next line is
oft.
Which is that open O. And the reason I make a big point of this, well, actually I said also at the end of that line, we have another one.
Entflossen, yes.
And the reason I wanted to make a point out of it is because the primary vowel of
Seufzer, whatever,
is the same sound as oft.
Oft, Seufzer. Yeah, it's the same place. Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like especially for foreigners, if we can find the same vowel and make sure we stay on that path, it keeps the line flowing.
Always have the legato. Yes.
Yeah. And again, we have this Seufzer that we can go to almost an A vowel and really keep our vowels flowing as opposed to all these places with consonants.
Seufzer, yeah. Right.
Yeah. In a word like harf, do we want harf or harf? Do we need the r, the rolled R?
Yeah, a little bit. I would say it. Otherwise, it's half. It sounds too English to me, actually.
Right?
Kind of. I would go with a deiner harf entflossen. It's like a harf, like little flip only.
Yeah. And it's a short vowel, so we can go straight to the harf.
Yes.
We can go straight to that. And again, like we saw with entrückt, we need the T of...
Yeah. And there you have a bunch of them. Entflossen. Really sing through it. And enjoy the T, the F, and the L. And the S.
And not the L. Not the L, not the American L,
the L.
But the Italianate French L.
Entflossen, yeah.
Because the German L is in the front, right?
Totally.
We don't have the option of putting it in the back.
No.
Exactly. In the next line, one word that seems to cause issues when people see it on the page is the word for sweet.
Okay, süß, because of the SZ?
I think because of both. I think because of the U umlaut and because of the SZ.
Yeah, especially English talking people is mostly like süß or something like this.
Yeah, because I think people think of this SZ as a double consonant, but it's really a single consonant.
It's a single consonant, and therefore you gotta have a long Ü, süß. Yeah. Süßer Heiliger.
And basically, the one thing we do know then is that because it's an SZ, it'll have to be a scharfes S, an actual phonetic S. And the first S of a word in German is always a Z sound, so we have to say...
Especially for this word, you can use it for make a sweet sound. It's ein süßer Heiliger Gott.
Yeah, if you really give a lot of voicing to it.
Yeah, and that's how you play around with that.
And you just finished up with Akkord, and it's a T at the end, right?
Totally, it is. Akkord.
Then it's
sounds
feels like
French to me.
Exactly. That's one of those things with Auslautverhärtung, right? That we need that T at the end of that. One word I think we always have to watch for is
den. Yeah. Because this is you gotta practice this a lot. This German den. It's stupid that it sounds, but it's kind of important. Den, because as soon as you go for den, it sounds foreign.
Right. Well, and it also just sounds like the wrong word.
Yes.
Because there is a word den.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You could say den, it means then. And in this case, it just means the. And at the very, very end of the whole song, we have...
Dafür.
Where again we have this long closed Ü sound that we had in süßer.
Yeah.
And after that we don't say dafür.
Nein. No, I won't do that. Dafür. Yeah.
Because that upside down A does come out sounding like an R to a German.
Yeah, somehow. It's like the tongue is going back for that. Actually, this is enough. Dafür. Yeah.
Yeah, in the same way that if we say mir, dir, we don't need to say dir.
No.
Could we? Would it be wrong to say dir?
Not totally wrong, but it's a little bit too old-fashioned.
We talked a lot about R's in this text, about when we need to hear a real rolled R, and when we can use the upside-down bright A as a replacement for the R. Notice that in the word harf, Christoph said it's better to roll the R because otherwise we don't realize that there's an R in the word at all. It just sounds like A instead of ar. As a general rule of thumb, in lyric diction, Germans tend to roll R's after an A and open vowels more than they do after closed vowels, which is why we said at the end that we don't need to hear a rolled R in
dafür,
mir, or dir. There are quite a few diction resources that transcribe a final ER in words like wilder, Seufzer, deiner, süßer, heiliger, and besserer as the schwa followed by the upside-down capital R, which is the uvular rolled R. Here at the Diction Police, we use the upside-down A because we never want to sing with the uvular R in German. Since there's been a push in French to sing with the uvular R, I've run across some foreign singers who now want to do the same in German. But if you listen to the German-speaking performers out there, none of them utilize the uvular R in singing German repertoire. So if you're going to say an R, make sure it's rolled with the tip of the tongue. I also wanted to reiterate one thing that Christoph said. When we talked about the words umstrickt and entflossen, he said that we should sing through the consonants, enjoy them, make them part of the sound. This is something I end up talking about a lot with young singers. We learn with Italian and French that vowels are like a clothesline and the consonants are either pins or birds on that line, depending on who's telling you the metaphor. But in German, the consonants should have as much energy and as much support as the vowels. I played for a Warren Jones masterclass once, and he had the singer say every phonetic sound in a row, not as text, but actually as phonetic sounds. Wilder Kreis umstrickt. A simple little exercise like this shows you how much air and support these consonants need in order to become part of the line. And as hard as it is to force yourself to do it, it's well worth practicing German Lieder and arias in this way.
Du holde Kunst, in wie viel grauen Stunden, wo mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt, hast du mein Herz zu warmer Lieb entzunden, hast mich in eine bessere Welt entrückt. Oft hat ein Seufzer deiner Harf entflossen, ein süßer, heiliger Akkord von dir, den Himmel besserer Zeiten mir erschlossen, du holde Kunst, ich danke dir dafür.
This interview with Christoph Pohl was conducted by Ellen Rissinger. Phonetic transcript by Ellen Rissinger and François Germain. This has been the Diction Police Special Diction Unit, a production of Singing Diction GbR.